Wow, I am in utter shock. What was that episode of Takt op.Destiny? I mean, Anna kissing Takt? What? I thought the romance was between Destiny and Takt, not Anna and Takt. What's going on? What's going on? These writers are messing with my head, and I don't know what's going on. I guess we'll get to it when we get to it. But let's start this from the beginning, I guess. So the episode starts off with Anna and Lot. Oh my God, Anna. We'll talk. Okay, focus. We start off the episode with Anna and Lot. They're talking about how Lot wants to put Takt and Destiny in basically cryo sleep so that they can preserve themselves and at some point awaken them when they figure out a way to reverse Takt's situation. Well, that essentially doesn't happen as we find out later. The Takt kind of ignores it, and I feel like this scene in particular was not there to essentially, because I think a lot of people are going to say this scene is useless, but I think this scene was here to specifically show that Anna and Lot really care about Takt, and they want him to be healthy and fine, just to, I guess make sure people know that these, like Lot isn't evil, I guess, or whatever. At least that's the way that I saw it. Either way, solid opening scene. I'm just really surprised that they have cryo sleep in 2047. That's interesting. Then again, they do have music hearts, basically aliens from another world that inhabit the bodies of humans to fight the embodiment of hatred for music. Then we see a most confusing scene. I'm not actually sure what this was supposed to mean other than, well, I guess the events it kind of set forth, but Sagan is stroking some crystals with his hand and then decides, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna take my hand and impale it on a really sharp crystal. And this somehow starts this process of, I guess, the whole the skyscraper building they're in being taken over by these crystals and eventually the D2. I'm not sure how that works. I thought we were gonna fight Sagan, who is the ultimate evil, but I guess we're not. I guess Sagan was just as significant as Schindler was. He was just like, I guess, a secondary Schindler, maybe just a ploy, a tool, a red herring. Either way, I'm confused how this works. They didn't really go into detail explaining how all of this happened. I assume they will in the next episode, of course, but it was just very weird. Like, he just impales his hand and the crystals take over the giant tower. Okay. This next scene's really important because as Takt wakes up, we get the confirmation that Titan is still alive. So that's pretty good to see that Titan, I guess, didn't get killed. And I guess she has joined forces with Takt and Cosette, or well, I guess Destiny, to avenge Lenny's death, which, I mean, we talk about that here in a moment. With Titan's goal at this point, her motivation is to put a stop to this because, well, that's something Lenny would do. And it's something that they were going to do anyways. So she's just carrying out the rest of the plan. Though Titan's a very interesting character in this episode. We'll talk more about her in just a moment. We also, though, see in this scene at the very end of it a bunch of music hearts fighting. We get to see like a musical one that's like pretty much all white. Just a lot of female music hearts. You could tell this was definitely made for a mobile game at this scene because these are probably all the music hearts that we're going to be seeing in the mobile game. Well, I'm not playing the mobile game. No way, Jose. But yeah, I guess it's pretty cool to see that there are more music hearts than just Cosette and Titan, and Valkyr and all that stuff. So as Anna and Lot are kind of trapped in the tower together, we also see that Takt and Destiny are being led by Titan, and this is where we get revealed that Titan's motivations are, well, to finish out what Lenny was trying to do before. Though I think the scene that happens after this is actually pretty telling of the situation that's going on in this tower or this building or whatever. Anna has had at this point to resort to carrying Lot on her back, which I think is a pretty neat touch for this. It shows that the D2 they may look like basically the noise from Symphogear, but they're actually pretty terrifying. They kill people. I guess they eat them. So that's pretty bad. It's bad enough. So Anna is like, well, crap, I gotta resort to carrying my sister on my back so we don't have anything bad happen to us. I think that also shows as well Anna's resolve as a character. She is in many ways a match to Takt in terms of like her stoic and heroic properties, I suppose, because while she says the shut up boo and all that stuff, she's actually standing up for many of her beliefs in this series. And when the going gets rough, she gets tough. That rhymed. I didn't plan that out, guys. I just said that. That's pretty genius. Give a thumbs up for the SeaTactics. Anyways, yeah, but that's what I like about Anna's character. She's just a really cool gal that's just super tough. The next scene, however, is an action sequence where Destiny is taking out all of the D2s and comparing them all to different types of flavored popcorn. Titan even brings up a pancake shop. I mean, this is quintessential Takt op.Destiny. If there isn't a scene in an episode of this series where Destiny or Takt or Anna aren't talking about pancakes or some type of, as Destiny would call them, delicious confections, then it's just not the show. This is just totally their character, and it would make sense for Destiny in the middle of a battle to compare the D2s to flavor popcorn. That's just great. That's really funny stuff. Though, I think we have to get to the best part of the episode. Well, maybe the second best part of the episode. I'm not sure what is the best part of this episode. There's so many great parts of this episode. This episode's great, by the way. Valkyr returns, people? You guys remember Valkyr from that episode? This is my favorite music art, probably besides Destiny. I love Valkyr. She's fantastic. She shows up finally in the series and saves Anna and Lot, which is really cool because it's Valkyr and she's here and she's ready to, and then she gets knocked out by Titan. Yeah, I'm not sure actually what the heck was going on with Valkyr in this episode. I screamed when I first saw Valkyr appear on my screen. Well, I didn't do any of that, but I was like, I literally did that, like not even joking. I just audibly gasped because it's Valkyr. Valkyr is so cool. Valkyr is so cool. Speech impediment. I'm terrible at this. Anyways, Valkyr is in this episode, shows up, has a pretty cool reintroduction to only getting knocked out by Titan, which is rather confusing because she goes on to talk about, I think Takt calls her irrelevant. And I can tell you right now, the guys on King of Anime podcast are going to rag me about this and I'm going to cry because they're going to be like, haha, your waifu is irrelevant. The main character said she was irrelevant and they knocked her out. Yeah, it's probably going to happen. But I'm very sad about that because I thought we were going to see more of her because she is like a legitimately cool music art. I think everybody can agree upon that. And she just gets knocked out for pretty much no reason. Like, they're in the middle of a giant building taken over by D2s. Wouldn't they want to have Valkyr on their side? And then her Takt calling her irrelevant and then her rambling on and arguing and yelling at Takt while she's being a tsundere about how she's not irrelevant, and then Titan not. What was this scene? This scene like actually made no sense and confused me more than anything, and it made me mad as a Valkyr fan. It really did. Made me cry because Valkyr is the best, and they just knock her out. Okay, so then we get to one of the most shocking parts of not just this episode, I think the whole series. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did anyone here see this coming? Please put down the comments below. I am completely flabbergasted because I never saw for a single solitary moment. Like, I can't describe to you how much I never saw this coming. And I want to know if you guys felt the same way, because I see some people on Twitter expressing the same thing, and I want to know if you guys feel the same way. So Anna starts to scold Takt about how he will die and all this stuff and all this junk, and she starts to cry, and it's like, okay, I get that. That makes sense for Anna's character. Anna cares a lot about two people in her world, Destiny / Cosette and Takt. These two people mean the absolute world to her. We've seen in every single episode pretty much how much Anna cares about these two people. They are her brothers and her sisters in the most family way possible, right? Like, they all mean quite a bit to one another. Takt goes on about how he wants to protect music and all this stuff. He gives his shonen pro tag, I'm a Mayan speech at the end of every anime where the tragic hero sacrifices himself because he's a Mayan. And then Anna starts to blush, and at that moment I'm like, okay, like I'm giving it like the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, it makes sense for her to blush. She's like crying and all this stuff. Like, it's probably just artistic. There's nothing really going on here. And then it keeps happening. She sustains the blush, and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And then moments after I say that, Anna walks up to Takt, plants a kiss on him, and I'm like, what? Where's it? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with these two, you know, being romantically interested, but this is like one of those weird romances where it's a non-romance, and it's just, I felt like they had to kiss because they needed a kiss in this scene, and they, for some reason, didn't choose Destiny and Tact. I felt like that's where they were going, but I guess the dynamic between those two is literally just a sister and brother dynamic, but it makes more sense for Anna to not be kissing Tact because Anna's much older than Tact, and Destiny and Tact are pretty much the same age physically speaking. She's like 5 years older than my brain. I'm confused. I'm confused, you guys. I need somebody to please help me in the comments below. Explain to me. My noggin hurts. I can't even, what? Like, I'm in complete shock. I mean, it's a great scene. Like, it's like, it comes out of nowhere. Once again, I'm okay with these two characters, like, having romantic interest for one another. It's just, it comes out of literally nowhere. It's like somebody walking down, I don't know, the street, and, like, just out of nowhere getting shot in the leg. It's like, how could you expect that? I was just going out for a walk, and I got shot in the leg out of nowhere. It's just unexplained. Don't even know where the bullet came from. And that's Anna. Anna is the bullet, or I guess her love for him would be the bullet. And then to solidify this, by the way, this is a solidified thing. This is a thing that they're doing, by the way. And you know this because one of Anna's next lines is, even if he becomes a rag, they'll find a way to bring him back and bring him back to life. So it's solidified. That line to me right there, while funny, solidified to me, I guess you called him a rag. There's a lot of connotations there. It solidified to me that this is indeed a thing. Like, this is, at the end of the series, we're gonna see these two go into the sunset together. So I guess Destiny's gonna die? I guess this is what they're telegraphing? I don't know. I need a vacation. Like, even Destiny is like, Maestro, why are you being so silent? Tact's like, I don't know, figure it out yourself. He's all being manly and man. And then Destiny is like, well, I will figure it out. Okay. I think it's because Big Sister kissed you. And Tact's like, no, stop talking. Do not talk about this. This is no talk time. We do not talk. And then, and I'm just sitting there, still confused. Let's move on to the next scene. So they get confronted by hell and heaven at the very end of the episode, and they Evangelion themselves. They Longinus themselves. That's a funny word. I don't know why they call it the Spear of Longinus. Longinus? Tuning fork. Whatever hell. I'm the Spear of Longinus. Come on, guys. Let's be real here. This anime, just like every other anime like it, is inspired by Evangelion. So they Evangelion themselves, hell and heaven, and then they turn into black goop. Missiles come out of nowhere, like speakers that shoot missiles, and then they create Orpheus. And now I'm like, is this Fate Grand Order? Are they now doing? So they're doing Fate Stay Night, Fate Route, if you're not familiar, the 2006 anime, or the Saber Route, if you're familiar with the visual novel for Fate Route or Fate Stay Night. And now they're doing Fate Grand Order, Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia. Should watch it, especially if you're a fan of this series. What? And Evangelion? And Symphogear? This show's awesome. I love this. This is crazy. Orpheus? Okay, sure, fight. I want to see it. Blow stuff up. This is what I want. This is cool. I like it. More, please. You know what? Do a fusion dance while you're at it. Tact and Destiny. Do the fusion. Ha! And then they turn into Testiny, which I don't know. Tactiny? I'm not sure how that would work. Put it in the comments below what their names would be if they did the fusion dance. I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. I just thought this episode was freaking awesome because it was just stuff happening. It was just nonsensical, but it was the best kind of nonsensical. Valkyrie returns, gets knocked out by Titan because she gets called irrelevant. What? That makes no sense. Anna kissing Tact? What? Makes no sense. Hell and heaven Evangelion themselves turned into Orpheus, which is basically the big thing at the end of Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia. What? Popcorn? Flavored popcorn? What? I loved it. Great episode. 10 out of 10. My favorite episode yet, just for its sheer absurdity. cannot wait for the final episode. This is gonna be awesome. While we wait for next week's episode, watch my most recent video on Demon Slayer Season 2, Episode 2, Entertainment District Arc, of course. It got a really low view count, so I want you guys to check that out if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.